Hello there, Bit Hero fans. Today I'm making a video on a request that I got regarding item find. How do I get faster legendaries, or basically just gear in general in the game. I'm going to go ahead and show you that we've started Friday. We got the plus 50% item find going for the daily bonus. I'm going to waste no time at all. I'm going to jump straight into grabbing my item find scroll, which I don't have purchased, so I'll buy that now. If it was on sale, I'd buy multiple ones, but I don't see it. So here's your major item find scroll. I'll let you read it on your own time. But basically, we want to have plus 100% item find. I'm going to go ahead and engage this. I already have my EXP tome going, so I'm just going to jump straight into trials. Probably raid rather, because this isn't capped just yet, and my raid is. Just like experience day, I let my raid, trials, and energy build as much as I could. I got a little impatient on the energy, typically do that. I'm going to check my runs here. Okay, so we have the item find runs in, and I'm going to start my raid. And we're going to do heroic. Got the raid team ready. And we're off. Alright, so I'm going to leave the item find gems in for this period of time. Usually I would swap out the item find runs as soon as I got into the raid here, but for this specific video I'm going to leave them in just in case I forget right before the boss or anything like that, because I want to have the best accurate overall results as possible. I'm going to show the document for this week. It's a little longer, so I'm not going to read it all. Feel free to pause the video and read it yourself. I just gave a couple of my personal experiences in the document, and you can take with you what you like. Some may or may not like what they read, but it's simply how I feel as a level 160 plus player who has been there and has leveled through the grinding phase that you'll most likely run into sometime right after level 100 or so. So here's the document. The question is, how do I find legendaries or faster gear? And the ultimate answer is take advantage of Friday's daily bonus, the plus 50 item find. As far as this answer, if you're lower than level 100, this is not your answer. Your answer is focus on experience, save your gems until you can actually do what's typed in this document. So if you're lower than level 100, or you do not have a raid team that's consistently beating heroic, specifically heroic, then this doesn't really apply to you. If you're focusing on gear prior to being able to efficiently do so, then your priorities are not straight. Here we break down the major item find scroll, talk a little bit about it, heroic raids, talk about how going for experience doesn't have RNG like the item finds do. So, just like I said here, unless you're over 100 or 150, I for example, didn't really go after gear at all until I was around level 160. That's what I told myself, you know, the guys around me have a little bit more gear than myself. I focused on experience all this time, so now I'm going to focus on item find. My runs aren't anything impressive, and that'll vary depending on what you have. And then I have a nice little paragraph here discussing my personal thoughts. My goal is 2 to 3 hyper shards, and I will make sure to keep an accurate count for you guys. Let's right now look at my inventory so I can show you guys how many hyper shards I have currently, so we won't count those in the pile at the end of this 24-hour period. Again, as you can see here, I just maxed 1 for just ultimate SP. I see a lot of people that will auto this, but auto doesn't give you the best SP usage at all. Alright, so let's look at my inventory real quick. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 potential hyper shard items. I need to disenchant one of these. but I'm just lazy and haven't gotten around to it. So keep in mind that I have 4 total Raid 2 pieces. So starting with 4 total Raid 2 pieces. And how many hyper shards? I want to say 0, but I will confirm on camera. Right, so I have 0. I just used my last 4 to upgrade my Vex, which I hope to upgrade here shortly. Probably at the end of this day, because that's when the new day starts, and I will get some from PvP, etc. Okay, so as the document shows, I'm starting with 4 total raid pieces, which is potentially 4 hyper shards, but I won't be disenchanting them for this video. I don't know where this 2 came from. 4 total raid pieces and 0 hyper shards. So we'll keep that down here, and we'll make it, I guess, red, just so we don't forget. And I'll keep that in the next video as well, so you don't forget either. Alright, so straight into the raid here. Feel free to read the document on your own time. I'm not going to go through all my personal comments. I will just say that I have far too many friends on my friends list that specifically aimed for gear, starting at level whatever when they first jumped into, for example, Raid 1. They'll jump into Raid 1, they'll see their other friends that are around them that obviously outlevel them, have a shiny piece of gear, and they will get in their own mind and talk themselves into, oh, I need that gear too. It's just like the real world. People see shiny things and think they have to have it. If you want to check out my SOS forum, which is way down here, you may have to click the view all forum threads. It may be a couple days old. I'll let you read all about it. I made a forum specifically targeting the players that went after only gear. I will show you a friend that I have. That's my guild. Here's my friends list. My current tank is Zem. Many of you may know him or have him on your friends list. Level 236, shot up like crazy, went for only gear, fully geared out, tons of awesome ruins, but he's been offline for a month. So this is a great example of someone shooting specifically for gear. I gotta have this, I gotta have this. And then once you achieve that goal, given it took him a long time, what then, right? So that's why I specifically would recommend focus on experience. In my case, I did until level 160. You're free to do what you will. I know sometimes it's intimidating to see the players in town with much better gear, but you have to understand that they may have poured a lot of money into that as well. So don't get in your own head. Don't be your worst enemy and talk yourself out of the game. I've talked to many friends back from the ledge here in the game, and that would have quit the game weeks or months ago, and now they're on my friends list, and I talk to them pretty regularly, almost every day. See if I have any online. For example, Kay Hyder, special shout out to you, girl. So she's pretty cool. She mentioned it started to become a grind probably a month or two ago now, and then she got Jimmy, and that all turned around, and things are looking up for her. Looks like some cool little runs there. So it doesn't take a whole lot, and in the SOS forum, I recommend a few things to avoid the grinded patch if you find yourself in that. I found mine around level 100 to about 120 or so. And that's when I determined that I was going to focus solely on gearing or leveling up with experience, because as I mentioned in the document here, you don't have RNG with experience. And what I mean by that is if you focus solely on experience, and, for example, on your Wednesday buffet days, instead of just going for gear like everyone else on the server, not taking advantage of the experience, you everything in your ability to focus solely on experience. And if that means going back to Raid 1 to do Heroic, because you can't do Raid 2 Heroic just yet, then that's what it takes. You'll find yourself getting an extra 100,000 experience by doing that, and before long, you'll be high level. It's all up to you. Now, there's a item level where you will find yourself to where you can only do, say, Raid 2 Hard, and that's a rough spot to be in. Personally, if I could do it again, and my new character will be there soon, I would do Raid 1 Heroic and just grind it up until my raid team is sufficient enough to completely clear Raid 2 Heroic consistently. Because if you're going through there all the way up to the boss even, and just looking for Heroic hyper shards on the ground, you're basically cutting your odds in half automatically if you're not killing the boss every time. So you have to keep that in mind. Am I trying too hard, basically? And if you're trying too hard, most likely the game starts to feel like a chore, and you don't want to do that. If you're not having fun, and you're not happy at the end of your session, you need to most likely focus on something else in the game. And that doesn't mean take a break from the game or walk away. It's as simple as readjusting your priorities in the game. It's not hard to do. It can be a little bit of a mind game. I know I focused on experience for so long that when I started doing videos on, for example, this one, how to get certain gear, I almost felt bad putting in my Iron Find runs because I knew I should be continuing to focus on leveling. And ultimately, I really should. I should just continue to focus on leveling. The gear will come, but I want to help my raid team out and those that are on my friends list now that I'm higher. So I need to get a little bit of gear. I have 2 fully upgraded Raid 2 pieces, and pretty close to a third. I'm sure I'll hit a point where I don't want to focus on gear so much anymore, but now that I have Robbie, which I cut in a few videos back, actually on camera, might check that out, pretty cool. I unlocked Gauntlet for Tier 6, I believe. I can now get the blue legendaries. So now that I have unlocked that, I'm pretty much going to do Gauntlet and Trials with my item find runs in, like, at all times. So that way I can have my best chance of getting that. So that right there is going to be a huge chunk of experience lost, because normally I would run all my Trials and Gauntlets with experience runs in, so that I for sure get that added bonus. Because the drop chance is so low for gear in there that it's just not a good idea to run with those. But with that blue legendary dangling in my face, it's going to be hard not to. So I very sparingly use my cleave here on these. The trash at this point doesn't hurt my tank much at all, and I just try to constantly have full SP, because if I get carried away and use it all before the boss, he will own me. And for those of you that are in Raid 2 Heroic now, you know how his critical hits can be. My main tank back here, Zem, has 5,000 health, I believe. And I've seen him nearly one-shot. I think the biggest hit I've ever seen from him was 4,700 crit. And that's pretty insane. I may not be able to benefit from this at all. Just maybe my secondary tank, but I'll use it. I wanted to show you something cool here that I found. A passive thing if you're doing specifically Heroic. This is one of my DPS. His health is exactly 208. And by having that amount of health, he can take the first hit from the boss, which I found is 95% chance not crit and survive. So if it's a crit on camera, he's going to die. But most likely it's just going to be a passive hit. 16, 1700 damage or less, and he will survive. Let's hope. Chop. See, there you go. So he has 208 health. That magic number may be a little less, possibly, but I would say 208 for your first hit. And I find that soaking that first hit into a DPS is the best thing ever that I've found for defeating Toledo. Because even as you fight him, you know it's a DPS race, and you want to kill him in the fewest hits as possible. Another tip for your tanks, the ones that will be taking the most damage after that prior hit, I've started to realize that strike, or whatever is the most amount of energy use. If they don't have a spear, then that's different with a sword, of course. But basically, I want to dump the energy as quick as possible. That way, if they die, I didn't use all their SP, and it won't be just a complete loss. Meanwhile, the DPS, for example, like this guy, can focus this guy down with just the 1 SP attack. Also, I found cleaving is a lot better because you're actually putting damage on the boss versus waiting. I probably didn't do that right on camera, but I get a little antsy at times. But definitely mess around with it a little bit. Try cleaving, try not cleaving, try dumping as much as your SP as you can with your tanks as fast as possible. I also like to rotate my guys. So this DPS is completely at SP. This tank back here is having a rough day. So I'm going to put him out in front. Oh, this guy's just flat out dead. I don't know when that happened. I don't know how he caught some cleave there, but I guess he did. Hopefully that don't come back to bite me. That's another thing too. You have to very much focus. Good thing that Golly went down to that much health. His health is 200 SP, so sometimes you just get lucky with the lower hits. My guy has just crap health, so he's going to die for sure, but there must be a sacrifice. Alright, the tank back here is getting low. Probably going to swap him out actually, because this tank has a love boy. Alright, so see, I just die hands down. Alright, so I always like to click the potion thing here and remember who I should be putting in the line of fire here. If they don't line up, I do not put them in the front of the back, because then if they get hit, they're for sure just dead, and I can't bring them back. Alright, so he took a hit. You're going to take a certain amount of hits from the boss. That's just inevitable, but you have to mitigate it smartly. Okay, so only my tanks remain. Okay, so sometimes he does a double hit, so you gotta keep this in mind. I'm gonna put my weakest player into the second position, just in case double strike. Okay. Hopefully she'll take advantage of Love Boy. It's like a 40% chance to basically resurrect herself. Oh, see, there you go. She died and she came back to life. That was a free hit. I'm getting multiple deflects here. If you guys watch the video and see how this guy died, let me know below, because I have no idea what happened. He was definitely alive. This guy doesn't really cleave, so maybe it was the cleave from the horse. I don't know. That one stumps me. Because I've noticed sometimes that'll happen. I'll put him back here and he'll die. Maybe I need to put him back here. Sometimes the positioning is just so helpful. For example, I know the big horse, when you're doing the trash, when he does his like massive arrow attack, he will just snipe off one of these two. So you always want to have a really high level or a high health pool back there to take that hit. So it looks like no heroic or legendary piece so far, so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. And I will do this for all my raids. I will spend all of my energy. Once you get 100, you can trade it in for a shard, which I will be doing and getting additional raid runs trials. I'm into difficulty 110 now, so I'll be waging 5 each and doing these. And I will update you guys. I will update the document, and I will see you guys in 24 hours. This is McProseph signing off, and thanks a lot, guys. Keep the questions coming, and take care.